welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. Today we're going to have a look at While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles, and famously Eric Clapton did the solo. Use the chapters feature of this video. I'm going to cover both the rhythm guitar and the solo. We'll plug an electric in for that. If that's all that you're interested in, head to the chapters section and find whatever's relevant. So accompanying this lesson, we've got a 5-page PDF with the chord chart. There's 2 pages for the chord chart. We've also got the solo tabbed out, and we've also got some chords for it, and also on the final page of this PDF we've got some more accessible chords, because there is some fruity ones in here today. Just scale it to wherever you're at. I'm trying to sort of make this fit as many people as possible. You can download that from the first link in the description. That'll take you to our private Facebook group. Join the group, head to the Files tab, and every tab and PDF that I've ever done for any lesson that I've done on YouTube, you can download there for free. Don't want anything from you. Right, so we're going to start with the rhythm guitar first. So this song consists of 2 sections, one of which being a part in A minor, which is, I've dubbed it the chorus. It's the da 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 da. It's that part. And then you've got the B section, which I've dubbed the bridge, which is in A major, which is the I don't know why. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little bit stuffy today. Well, that's my excuse for singing anyway. So we're gonna talk about the A section first and what's dubbed as the chorus. Now, take a deep breath, don't run away. These are the chords. These are all the chords for the whole piece. Bearing in mind, if you download the PDF, you'll get this for free. And also, like I mentioned, there's some more accessible chords for you there. Take a screenshot if you need to, or go away and print the PDF so that you can work along with me. So this song has the same strumming pattern throughout, which is down, 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 up, down, up. So with an A minor chord, I'm going to go down, 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 up, down, up. 2 downs, down, up, down, up. And if we feed that into the next part, we've got this cool kind of descending bass part. So if you're working on the proper chords for it, we've got this moving bass part, which we'll talk about in a second. If that looks a little bit too much like hard work, for the first 3 bars of this piece, you can play just strum an A minor for 3 bars and then go to F major 7 rather than the proper bar chord. Scale it to wherever you're at. So I'm going to play the A minor. Then A minor over G, what that means is it's an A minor chord with a G in the bass. So I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to put it up here on this 3rd fret of the low E string, and then I'm going to strum all 6 strings. It's a subtle difference, but it's what they're doing. Now for A minor over F sharp, I have notated it with, you keep the index finger on that C note, 1st fret of the B string. Middle finger goes up to that F sharp on the low E string, and then you make up the rest of the chord with your 3rd finger and your pinky. My fingers are too big for that. Now what I'll do, a classical guitar teacher will probably slap your wrist for this, but what I do, I put my thumb over the neck and I just catch that F at the top. That F sharp, sorry. It's a lovely sound, but you can hear this kind of descending bass part that's really lovely. I want to try and harness a bit of that. And then when we go to the F chord, it's just a straight bar chord. Again, if you can't play that, play F major 7 and it'll sound just as lovely. Let me play it all for you. And I broke out the strumming pattern there. Down, 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 up, down, up. It's more like it. It's all live here, folks. Now, this is part of a 12-bar phrase, no, 16-bar phrase. So those are the first 4 bars. Pause if you need to get that under your fingers. Or if you're feeling okay. For the next part, A minor. G, D, E. Still's keeping that same. So there's two sections to this song, what I'm dubbing the A section and the B section. Now the intro takes the first half of the A section, and that's where the piano does that. It sort of keeps hitting that A note at the top. And then you'll hear Clapton do this like little intro lick, and then that's when, I think it's Lennon, isn't it, that sings the first part of this. They just take the first 8 bars of this whole piece. Again, if you download the PDF, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what we've done so far. You play as the verse, as the intro, and then it happens again as the verse, and we're going to bolt another 8 bars onto it, okay? So let's have a look. That's the whole chorus part. So far we've worked on the first 2 lines. A minor over G, A minor over F sharp, F, and we just keep going. A minor, G, D, E. And then for the second half of what I've dubbed the A section or the chorus, it's very similar. The next line's the same. A minor over G, A minor over F, F major. Can you see how it still does A minor G, but that D has swapped for a C chord, and that's going to help you, they're using that as a pivot to the next section. So, in fact, I'll leave that on screen while I'm waffling. Because the A section's in the key of A minor, and the bridge is in the key of A major, we need to use what's called a pivot chord, which will help you get to that new key harmonically, where it sounds nice. The change sounds nice and not abrupt. And that C chord into that E chord is a nice transition. Because if I play that bottom line, A, G, C, then I'll play E. Can you hear how that? If I go, I don't know how, yeah, it really bends your ear, and that's what I really like about Beatles songs, especially like as you get into the White Album and pretty much most of the later stuff. They're really experimenting, and you can actually hear them improving as musicians as the albums go on. So this next section, we're in the key of A major. It's an 8-bar phrase. Again, what we'll do, if you have a look at the C sharp minor, F sharp minor and B minor chords on this slide for me, please. So C sharp minor's top right, B minor's bottom right, and F sharp minor's next door to the B minor. And again, if you print off the PDF, there's a couple of sort of easier options. I think the main note to take away from this is the C sharp minor is the only one that doesn't occupy the first 4 frets. Can you see how your index finger sits on the 4th fret? You've got to physically come up to play that. And whether you play it like this, or whether you play it like this, either's fine. Taking part's the most important part of it, okay? So the first bit, we're going to retain the same strumming pattern. A chord, the 3 stacked on top of each other. We're going to go to the C sharp minor, F sharp minor, and then C sharp minor. So there's some fruity bar chords in there, but this is the kind of stuff, if you're wanting to get bar chords under your fingers, this is the kind of stuff that you need to be practicing, because there's no easy alternative. You've got to actually do the work. Moving on, you go to your B minor for 2 bars. And that's what both of them look like together. Have a go at that for me, please. So you can see how we've got repeat markers either side of that. Sometimes they repeat it, sometimes they don't. So far we've got the A section and then the B section, and that it just sort of plays one then the other, one then the other. If you follow this, it will tell you what order to play all of those in. Right, I'm going to go get my electric guitar. Put a loop together, and I've got the solo. I'm going to play you it with the looper first, and then we'll break it down bar by bar, okay? I'll bob that down there so I can see it. Right then. So, 57 gold top. It's not an actual 57, it's an R7, but it's as close as I'm going to get. So, Clapton, I was doing some research on this. Clapton was using a 57 gold top that's been refinished in red. Sounds like there's been some sort of lore around that and about George Harrison and a girl. There's something weird happened. It was the 60s, wasn't it? So, was it 60s or it was 70s? Let me know in the comments. I can't think of that off the top of my head. Regardless, he used a gold top through a Fender Deluxe, or was it a twin? I think it was a twin, but it was turned right up. So, old-fashioned valve amps, when you turn them right up, you get what we call preamp distortion. I'm using a Boss SD1 to get that sound, and I'm using the neck pickup with a little bit of the tone rolled off, and it gives you that sort of creamy. It's the Blues Breakers kind of sound. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let's get into it. So, we'll start with a leading lick that looks something like this. So, let me get a nice tone. Right, so, we're going to pre-bend the 14th fret of the G. And it says full. I actually want you to do that just a little bit further. It actually should say it's a tone and a half bend. So we're going to bring that down. I'll make sure the PDF's right for this. So you're going to bend it and then bring it back down. Now, I don't know if you remember in the Freddie King video from last week, I sort of described it as letting air out of a balloon. And then we're going to hammer on to the 14 and bend it back up. And we're going to do that for a tone and a half again. I'm then going to go to the 13th fret, bend that ever so slightly with the index finger, and then I'm going to do the same on the 15. It's a bit of a funny lick, this. I want you to listen to it. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. That's what we're going for. Pause the video, get that under your fingers. And then the actual section starts here. So you've got 13th fret with the index finger. And then you're going to waggle that 14th fret of the G. Like that. We then hammer on to the hammer on from 12 to 14 of the G. We're going to spend a lot of time here in this little pentatonic box, so you get used to it. So we're going to hammer on to 14, and then I'm going to do two very short, sharp. Notice how I'm bending. I'm bending that note a tone and a half. I'm bending it all the way. I'm bending it up to C. And your guitar's probably going to go out of tune a little bit for this, but that's okay. So you've got... Now you see the vibrato wobble. After you, I don't know if if you want to rewind to the clip of me playing it, you notice that I'll bend it. I'll put a little bit of gain on so you can hear me. It almost sounds a bit like a sort of sound effect from a comedy sketch. You bend it up and you sort of waggle it, but slowly bring it back down. Yeah? Almost, was it the Osmonds? Wild Horses. It's that kind of vibe, but it's not as intense. So you've got... And you want to really hang on to that for as long as you dare. Put my tube screamer on, it's not as offensive, but it just gives you a little bit more sustain. And as we go into the third slide, you'll see that we do that again. That wobble that I'm doing is directly below my picking hand. Can you see it down here? Then moving on, you're going to hammer onto the 14 and do the bend again. Like I said, we're spending a lot of time here. Then we're going to move to the 15th fret. We're going to pick the 15 and then bend it up and back down. You see the line goes up and down. And we're bending that a full step, which is equivalent to 2 frets. 13th fret, 15, bend it again. So if I go from here, there's a lot of extra chaff in this transcription. I tried really hard to cut as much of it out as possible, but there's a lot of tied notes in it. He's not actually playing loads of notes, but it even took me a second to sort of get this under my fingers. So after we've just come from that bent 15, I'm then going to use my pinky to get underneath. And I started doing, we did this in Sultans of Swing, didn't we? It's that country bend kind of vibe. 13, and then I'm going to do three 15th frets on the high E, but don't bend it and hold it up there. Play 3 individual, and then as we move into the second bar, there's a 4th one here, but that one lasts a bit longer. So you're actually doing 4. And then can you see as we get over here, there, we pick the 15 while the ball's up in the air, let it down, and then pick it up one more time. You see how the 6th one, the ball was already in the air, I let it back down and then brought it back up again. Yeah? After that, we hit the 12th fret of the high E, bend the 15th fret of the B, and then that pinky comes back into action for the 15th fret of the high E, and then bring it back down. So you've got going from the 12 like that. And notice again, I'm letting it down. Last note in the bar. I know I'm moving it through this at a rate of knots, guys, but it's all here for you to pick through, okay? And it's literally keep playing the record, rewind a bit, play the record, rewind a bit, and just think of it in chunks. Attack it with a pencil and a highlighter, and you'll be right. So, with then that last little bit of major pentatonic goodness, we're hammering on from 13 to 15 on the B, and we're doing that sort of old school pedal steel lick again, where you bend it up, hammer on to 13, bend the 15, keep it in the air, play the 15 underneath it, bring the 15 back down, and finish back where you started. We then go into the 14th fret of the G, you bend it up a tone and a half again, and then hammer on, and then we're going to do the last 2 tone and a half bends, I promise. Now, I've got a bit of a habit going there, haven't I, where I'll sort of hold that because we've done it so much for the solo. We're only going to do those 2 fairly quickly, and then we're going to do like this pentatonic run, which is really nice. It starts on the 12th fret of the D string. I'm going to hammer on from 12 to 14, 12th fret of the G. I'm then going to play 14 on the D where I just came from, but slide down to the 12, 10th fret, and then back to 12. And then we finish that phrase off by hammering from 10 to 12 and back to the 10. And then as we enter the last bit, we're going to hammer on to the 12, from 12 to 14 again. We're going to do the same on the G. We're then going to pick the 14th fret and slide up to 17. going to slide from 17 up to 19. I'm then going to bend the 19, 17, 17, and then 20th fret. Make sure you're using 2 fingers there on that 20th fret of the B string, and you're going to do 3 short, sharp. Now that very last bar is, it goes back to the, I don't know how, da, da, da. It goes back to that bit, okay? Feel free to put a bit of vibrato on that as you see fit. So I hope that was useful. Let me know in the comments how you got on with that. I'd be really interested if some of you could post it in the Facebook group and I could see you attacking that solo, because it even took me a second to sort of get under my fingers. Thank you so much for watching today's lesson. If you've got any recommendations that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. If not, I will see you next week for another electric guitar lesson. Thank you so much.